Okay.
Thanks for tuning in.
Is that how I said? That's not how I said.
That's gotta be your outro from now on.
Yeah.
See y'all next time.
Oh, we tripped the breaker. The next vehicle on the chopping block is the white Galaxie. So we're gonna knock this car out hopefully pretty quick. I'm gonna be doing it all by myself, so hopefully I can be as efficient as I can to get it done quickly. Most of the body work's already done on this car, but we are gonna lead into painting it. So if you guys remember, I actually put a deposit on getting this car painted, but then the turnaround time was like 2-3 months, so it just didn't make any sense. So I held off and the car just kind of sat for a couple months, ironically a couple months, and now we're here. I put a poll up on my Instagram. If you don't follow me already, I recommend it. I post a lot of sneak peeks and future build updates there, and I asked you guys whether you would want me to send it out and get it professionally done, or if we should do our own backyard paint job here. If you guys haven't seen, I did paint my own Fox body myself. I painted from the windshield forward, base coat, clear coat, the whole 9 yards, and it actually came out really good. And I did the whole front of that car in 3 days, bodywork, prep, and paint and everything. So and then we took it to the Heat Shield Fast Car Show, so it was a really fun deal. Now I can do it. I've also painted the town car, and so this would be car number 3 for me. Well, actually, me and Shauna painted like 4 cars, but that's besides the story. So I know I can do it. So I mean, if you look down this car, it's pretty dang straight. There's not really a bunch of waviness anywhere. I did weld the quarter panels on this car. I did quite literally cut the entire back of this car off and re-metalwork the whole thing. We have a bunch of super trick metalwork stuff going on in this thing. It's with like bead rolled panels and stuff. You can see this car's tubbed out, it's 4-linked. The taillight panel is all shaved and has a billet cap in it. Like, there's a bunch of cool work that everything you see on this car has been done by me. So we got a little bit of stuff to address, like the lead seam. I did a rust repair spot here in the roof that's pretty much done. I also repaired the rust right here. You can barely see where the strip was right here on the roof. So pretty much everything on this car is done. There's a couple other dents. There's a couple dents in the door on both sides. There's a slight dent in the rocker. You can barely see it right there. It just kind of swoops in a little bit. I got to pull that out. A little bit on the back quarters. Realistically, I don't see more than a week's worth of body work in this car and a week's worth of paint in this car. So if I'm going like full out, trying to make this thing as nice as I can, there's realistically no reason that I could not have this car painted in 2 weeks time if I'm working on it every single day. Now it's 100 degrees every day, so I don't know how much work I'll be able to get done. Plus I do everything on my own. Hopefully I can pitch in with a little bit of food and beer to get my friends to help me out doing this car, because this car is like 20 feet long. It's a big car. But as you guys have seen, the engine bay of this car is fully done. It's really, really nice. It's actually been sitting, and somehow some rats got in here. You can tell there's some like footprints. One of them slipped and ate crap up here, which is kind of funny. But this thing's already really nice under the engine bay side. This thing runs like a sewing machine. You can hear it. It runs perfect. It's actually the best running car I own. So we'll go ahead and bag the whole front clip of this thing. The core support's even done. And then then we'll just paint the body real quick. So it shouldn't actually be that bad. But yeah, this car was painted by me in my backyard. You can see it's super filthy right now, but like you can see there's no orange peel or anything on it. This is base coat, clear coat. This only costed me like $400, maybe maximum material, even the gas going to get it. So it's definitely doable. So I'm hopefully in this video gonna inspire a lot of you guys to just get out and paint your own car. This could either come out like crap or it's gonna come out good. So I'm gonna tell you guys at the end of this whole series how much money it cost me, how many hours it cost me, and then you can kind of decide whether it's worth it for you to paint it yourself or pay someone to paint it. I got quoted $8,000 to paint this car from a shop. $8,000, and it was over 10 in some other spots. And that was $8,000 if I prepped it. So I was like, hell no, that's not happening. But I did work out a deal with another painter where we would be able to get it for like half that, but it just still doesn't make sense. The turnaround time just didn't make sense for me. So we're gonna try it ourselves. All right, so this thing's been sitting for a few months, so we definitely need to clean it out. We're gonna start by vacuuming, cleaning everything, and then I'm gonna go ahead and pull all the trim, bumpers, glass back out of it, interior back out of it. All the door cards need to come out and all that good stuff. So got a lot of stuff needs to come out, and a lot of work before we even start sanding this car. So let's get after it. So it's really loud, so I apologize for the fans, but I want to show you this. So this was a spot that was high on the quarter panel and it bugged the crap out of me, and I want to show you guys how to fix it. So it's gonna mess up the body filler. I'm gonna have to redo it anyways, but this part is definitely high, it's stretched. So the way I'm gonna fix this is I have a nice wet rag and I have a torch. So I'm gonna get this red hot, not necessarily red hot, but tell where you can see discoloration. Then I know it's hot enough to where I can take a cold rag and put it on the back side, and this cold rag will cause it to contract. So watch this. Hopefully you guys will see it. Look at that. Pulls it back flat. So I'm gonna have to do that a couple times, but that's how you shrink a stretched out part. Alright guys, gonna run over with the F100 and go ahead and pick up a couple parts for it, take it on a little drive. I haven't actually broken this thing in enough, so I need to get out and drive it more. It's just been so damn busy, I haven't been able to actually drive it. So you can hear it's idling away, warming up. I think it sounds fantastic. Such a vibe, man. I'm telling you, this truck, I've owned a lot of vehicles. This truck is nothing like anything else. The sound, the way it shifts, the way the power comes on, everything is so unique to this truck. And I'll never get over it. Love this thing, man. We're gonna go detail it up, make sure it looks all clean. It's been sitting for a little while. So put some miles on this thing. You know what they say, man, you can't have dirty garbage. Loud. Man, this thing's been getting bad lately because it sat outside for so long when the motor was broke. You can see how the body filler in the roof is starting to bubble up. This is all like rusted out pretty bad. Like you can tell that is not metal. This is body filler. I had to refinish it just to get it by for a little while, but you can tell this thing's definitely gonna need a roof. Not soon, but in the next probably year or two, I'm gonna have to cut this thing up and re-metal work the roof. It doesn't need a whole roof, but it needs, you know, the drip rail portion like these things always do. turn the idle down a little bit. It's idling at like 1100. All right, this thing really do be the grocery getter. Check this out. Getting some regular everyday stuff and I found that bad boy. This is a Mark II GT40, and if you're anything like me, you collect Hot Wheels and diecast, you see something like that standing there, you don't just leave it. Spent 86 bucks on spark plugs for this stupid thing because I reused the old ones and I want to swap them out. And yeah, done spending money today. Alright guys, I wanted to take a moment to thank today's video sponsor, Blaster. Now if you're anything like me, you've been to a ton of different shops all over the country, and the one thing they all have in common, no matter if it's an old guy that's been doing this stuff for 100 years, or if it's someone that's just getting into it, you'll find a can of Blaster on the shelf somewhere. Now I, just like any other car guy, use this stuff almost every single day. It comes in handy on all the rusty junk that we have around the property. But did you know they make a lot more than just PB Blaster? I'll show you. So this is a can of Multi-Max lubricant. This is something that I use all the time. As you guys know, a lot of things are rusty on these old cars, but the one thing that drives people like me absolutely insane is when you're moving an old door or hinge and all you hear is this kind of stuff. So the one thing that's absolutely awesome about Multi-Max lubricant is you can spray this on any sort of hinge or moving part that is not really freed up very well. And this stuff will make it not only move better, but it'll be way quieter. You won't have squeaky doors or hinges or anything to worry about. This stuff outperforms all the leading competitors in 6 ASTM tests, and it's made right here in America, deep in the Rust Belt. With their patented ProStar, you can adjust the little tab on the back and use as much or as little as you need. So for me, I don't need a crazy amount. I'm gonna go ahead and put this right in the middle. And you can actually see right where I was wearing against the trunk hinge. So I'm gonna go ahead and just put a tiny little bit right there. Go ahead and open and close this a couple times. Wow. And just like that, it's perfectly quiet now. Blaster has been the #1 selling penetrant since 1957. If that tells you anything about them, they know what they're doing. A little goes a long way with this stuff. You can use it on all sorts of applications, from home to automotive to anything you are doing in a day-to-day life. And do yourself a favor, go down the link in my description, click that, and check out the wide range of products that Blaster makes. You'd be blown away of the amount of products that they produce. A lot more than I initially anticipated when I first started reaching out with them. A ton of people think that they just make PB Blaster, and it's anything but the truth. If there's any sort of product or spray that you can imagine to use in anything on a day-to-day life, they probably make it. So go down to the link in my description, check out some stuff for yourself. Massive thank you to Blaster for sponsoring today's video, and let's get back into it. Alright guys, going in and get this thing jacked up in the air so we can actually start working on it. It's not like it needs to be jacked up to paint it, but it's one of those things where when you're working on the rockers and this thing sits about 3 inches off the ground, you don't want to be bending over or crawling all over the floor trying to do body work here. I got pretty much all of this dent or this warped area straightened out. Just needs a little bit of fill work again and then we'll be good there. All I really got to do now is a couple little low spots in the bottom of the rockers, obviously some paint chips. Get it up in the air, get it jacked up. Let's get after it. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and take the gauges out of this thing so they stop getting trashed outside. Plus, I'm gonna paint the dash. I'm gonna make it look pretty. And I gotta tuck all the wires behind the dash, so if I take all this stuff out now, it'll just make it easier to get to everything. So it's one of those fun times where you look back and you're like, how did we do this 4 months ago in 4 days when we were in a rush? Oh, I forgot, we wired it like that, so you can do this. Smart. It's kind of nice when you think of something as a car builder, how to make it serviceable, because you know damn well the next person that's going to take it apart, it's probably going to be you. Alright, got most of the dash apart. This dash is actually one of the more difficult cars that I've had to take apart. The radio, got to pull the knobs off the front, and then you can see there's a nut right on the front there. You got to take off on both sides. That guy pops out. Ashtray just kind of pull down, that pops out. All these switches, and the headlight switch, there's a button right here on the bottom. You pull this all the way out, press the button, pull it again, rod comes out, you can unscrew it. That one's decently easy. The ignition switch, there's a button right here. You'll turn it counterclockwise to accessory, push a pin, and there's a button, you'll feel it. You'll push it in, turn it again until it pops out. And then you can, this is on a spring here, you can see it, you can push it in and then twist it. And then it will go ahead and it'll pop out the rest of the way. This one's very tricky, but this one, it was an air vent. So this had a little switch like this. And what it had was a little Allen key, which you could barely see there. It was turned to the bottom so you couldn't see it. So there's an Allen key, you take that Allen key, twist it, that comes off. Push this in or move it out of the way to where you can get some needle noses in there. And there is like a Phillips screw. It's probably gonna be like damn near impossible for me to show it on camera. I don't know if you guys can see it in there, but there is like a slot to where you can put like a pick tool, or if you have like C-clip pliers, those are good ones. These are just really, really fine needle noses, and you get it to the point to where you can twist it like this. See there we go. Definitely more of a pain. I don't know what these 60s Ford engineers were thinking when they were building all this stuff. It's definitely not obvious how to take this stuff apart. So you can see after I get this off, unthread that guy, that panel falls off. Now I can take this entire trim piece off and out of the car. So I've been trying to do this whole time. So that's all apart. I can go ahead and push everything back. Make sure when you take stuff apart, you go ahead and put it back together the way you had it so you don't lose everything. You can see everything's kind of in bulk pieces here. Then I can go ahead and start masking everything off and doing body work on the dash. You guys that might be new to the channel, this is a gas door that I built from scratch. If you guys are familiar with these Galaxies, normally they have a pull-out like door style. I hated it. I thought it fit terribly from the factory, and it was just a big pain to put fuel into. So I went ahead and I designed this. This is actually 1/8 inch round rod, if I remember right, or 1/16 inch round rod, welded to a piece of flat strap, countersunk in, and I went ahead and welded up this entire thing all the way across, and then fit this whole thing and countersunk it in. And on the back side, there's a whole mechanism that all, retains the stock trunk latch and everything. It's actually a pretty tricky unit. It's one of the bigger designs that I've done to alter the look of the car. Once it's all done, the trim actually goes still on the car, the factory trim, and wraps around this like perfectly. It's actually pretty rad, so you guys will have to see it when it's done. But when I put this in, backside there's pretty much no access underneath the filler to get to these nuts on the backside. So I, being the engineer that I am, thought about, as a car person, not just an engineer, it has to be serviceable. And I know I'd be cussing at the person that designed this, aka me, if I didn't make it serviceable. So all the nuts on the back are welded. Makes it really easy. As you can see, I can go ahead and unthread this. Once I get all these nuts out, it'll just pop right out. It'll be super easy to do. So cool when you design something and it actually works the way you designed it to. So I got a couple things I got to fix up in here, but yeah, you can see all the nuts are welded in there, so it makes it really nice. Alright guys, this thing's pretty much completely stripped, minus the bumpers. I need to go get my impact to go ahead and take those off. You can see the whole interior is taken apart. Glass is out of it. I have that door still together to use as a reference. I do know how everything in the mechanism in these quarter glass work. Huge pain. Those suck. Very bad design in my opinion, but you can see there's some high spots I got to sand down, and I'm going to start doing a bunch of the body work. Probably just going to start my way from front to back. Obviously can't work down here until I get the bumper off. And I'm just going to speed sand the whole car real quick, kind of uncover and mark my work areas that need attention. Like you can see, this area still needs a little bit of work, and then I'll get after it. So let's get moving. Okay, I'm gonna jump right into this. All right, guys. So I recently found a couple issues on the Galaxie I wanted to fix, and there's one tool. I have like basically every tool that I could possibly need to do what I do around here. You guys see, I have a torch, I have a MIG, I have a plasma cutter, I have pretty much everything I needed and to do all the metal work which I've done. But one thing I've wanted to try for a long time was actually TIG welding. It was a skill that I know I need to learn if I want to be a car builder and actually do this stuff professionally. So I reached out to my friends at JEGS and oh, that's upside down. Nice. So I reached out to my friends at JEGS, and coincidentally enough, they actually make one. So we're gonna check it out today. So this is their actually multi-purpose. This is a 120-220 dual action TIG machine. So we're gonna go ahead and kind of run through everything in here. It's like that is our main gas line. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know where to put this. I need more table space. Oh my gosh. Ooh, it comes with a wire brush. Woo. Whoa. It's a bag. Oh, that's actually really nice. Damn.
It came with a stub. It's always an aftermarket thing. And a blanket. Came with a blanket too. Man.
I know, that's why I was like, wow, this
Yeah,
comes with like literally everything.
How much you pay for this?
Read the instructions for 0.2 seconds.
Big funny guy.
So this thing's AC/DC. It's a 200 amp. It's actually like, it's more than enough. I think that'll weld some sheet metal, huh?
Yeah, I mean maybe.
So we have a 220, 120, 220 adapter. We have our pedal. We have our ground clamp. So you could literally stick weld with this thing. I did not know that. So you could actually put like a, what, a 70-10 or 60-10 or whatever they are in this thing.
60-10, 70-18,
yeah,
110-18, whatever you want.
But I would have to run this on a 220 circuit or it would not do it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we have a regular power cord. So it comes with a welding mask, which is pretty rad. So if you don't have your own mask, your own hood, you can go ahead and slip something in here, or slip the shield they give you. I am the captain now. So that's kind of cool. So the one thing I noticed is this thing out of the box comes with way more stuff. I've ran Millers, I've ran Lincolns, and none of them have came with any of this stuff. So this thing out of the box comes with absolutely everything that you would need. Like I said, if you want to run it stick, you want to run TIG, you can run either. It comes with literally a shield on it and everything. You said it has a stub.
Mm-hmm.
Head on
this right here, yeah. So this will allow you to run a shorter tungsten, so you can get into smaller places, like if you're doing a cade or something and you're like up underneath something. Yeah. But also for like this brand new full length tungsten, you can just slap the longer one on there, unscrew this, screw this one on. Yeah. So like it comes with absolutely everything that you could possibly want. So it's actually kind of nice because we're working on a car with this, we have to get into the tight door jamb area, so we might actually just start off with the shorter end and get into the inside of the door jamb if we need to TIG weld some stuff in there. Yeah, I'm very impressed. This is a nice unit. I'll have the link to this welder down in the description below if you guys want to check it out. We're going to take this little bad boy on a test drive and see how it does. Thanks for tuning in. Is that how he said? That's not how he said. That's got to be your outro from now on. Yeah. See y'all next time. You always want to see how the wheel's like spinning that way there. You always want to kind of go with it so that your grain is facing downward, because your science magnet electrons, whatever, your flow is going to shoot down into your puddle and it's going to come out nicer, versus if you just do it like straight sideways, it's going to be kind of trying to arc out and go everywhere else but the weld puddle. See, I thought it just had to be sharp, so I didn't know that. Yeah, it's if you always put the grain down, it's a hell of a lot better. Zip tie to put that on cruise control? You got 3 different sizes, which is nice. Usually, like in my kit, they only gave me consumables for one size. Yeah. So it just gives you everything. It does, dude. Makes me want to go get one now. Jeez. So here's your torch. It goes, I forget the technical name for this one, but this thing goes in first. And then your collet and your tungsten slip right down in there. And usually, like I'll put my tungsten in after. Usually, this screws into the torch there. Screws onto that. Not too tight, because if you do it too tight, then when this gets hot, because it's ceramic, it's just gonna break. And then this will get stuck into the plastic, with more heat. So just finger tight is all you need to do. You don't need to put pliers on it or go crazy. And then we'll just drop this one right down in there, and it'll kind of set your. I like setting mine probably sticking about that far out. And then this sets your tension for keeping keeping the tungsten tight on where it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I figured it would make more sense that Timmy actually does this stuff. I don't. So, believe it or not, YouTubers don't know everything in the world. Go figure. So you might as well.
Believe it or not, I'm a professional welder.
Yeah, go figure.
Who'da thunk?
Who'da thunk? So Timmy's gonna teach me how to do the thing with the thing. So thanks for helping, Dad. Let's take my handy dandy little briefcase. This thing's light. Like, it's actually not even that heavy at all. Beep boop. You're gonna help us with things with this other thing, and you're gonna fix this messed up door, which you can see I found today. I was really happy to find that. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna plop this little guy right here. Look at that, it's got little rubber bumpers on it, so you can just kind of hit it there and it doesn't sound like you're dropping a plate on the ground. So here's what we're working with. So this is the Galaxie's door, as you guys can see. It's already split right here. So basically what I was doing a bunch of body work here, and then I found this whole thing was all wavy, and you can see the end of it's all split. So what actually ended up happening is, if I open the door up, so you can see on the back side of this, someone got in here at one point. I don't know if this thing was in an accident or what, or, you know, I have no clue what happened, but it looks like for whatever reason this got kind of peeled up, and so they ended up smashing it down and then putting a bunch of filler in it, and that created a bunch of problems. So what we're gonna do, I already went ahead and did a bunch of hammer and dolly work to get this thing, you know, smashed back, because it was like opened up. Like, basically the inner and outer skin of the door is supposed to overlap each other like this, and what I ended up doing was actually smashing it back down, overlapping it, and then what we're going to do is just throw a couple stitch welds in here, and then we'll throw a seam sealer in it so it doesn't have any issues in the future. But I need to go ahead and weld all this back together. So you can see, if I get a decent shot at it, there you go, you can see that it's all split right at the edge. So I need to go ahead and get that all welded back together. So that's what we're doing right now. But I figured a wire feed MIG, the problem with that is being it's already so thin, as you can see it's basically one layer now. So the second I touch that to a wire feed, it's gonna go ahead and blow a hole in it. So I figured JEGS with a TIG would be the perfect solution for this, and I think it's definitely gonna do the job, so. Safety third, kids. Safety. Jeez.
You got some scrap metal we can dial it on?
Me? Scrap? No. I have a whole car at scrap.
Yeah, just start running beads on all the most precious body lines you got. Perfect, dude. This is the shit.
I'm just kidding.
Don't TIG weld on this nasty. Yeah, TIG weld right over the fucking sticker on it. Yeah. TIG weld right over the price tag. They won't know what hit them.
Oh, I'd say let's see what she'll do, Captain.
Thank God you didn't ask to see my resume.
Dang, that thing's laying dimes.
Yeah, this thing don't do too bad.
That looks pretty dang good.
It's been a while since I've done any kind of TIG welding, so it looks alright.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Out of the box, that ain't bad.
Out of the box, dude? Like, with this, yeah, it's great. Recommend.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, can't beat it. That's bitching.
Hell yeah, I think that'll work perfectly. Alright, I'm gonna try it. I don't even know how to weld, so. You're doing great, Craig.
Yeah. I'll let you rent my helmet. That's $1 a minute.
Okay. This welder's still. Oh shit.
There you go.
Basically, you're gonna create yourself a mullet that you've never seen before.
The mullet's gonna be sun bleached.
Did I do good, Dad?
Yeah, dude.
Hey, looks like you got a bead.
Hell of a start there, kid.
Well, it's not in the same settings as you.
Shaky ass hands.
Sorry. Ah, we tripped the breaker. And it's dark out.
Nice. Damn, that was going so good too.
I know.
I got so happy about that one.
So that's even better. This freaking welder's running on a power strip that's ran on a 20-foot extension cord, and it's still running.
Bitchin'.
Dude, this unit's mint. Yeah. I like this welder a lot.
Now, if the power didn't go out, the end would have looked a lot cleaner, but not too bad for her roots. So
you can see my booger, and then my booger.
But hey, you did get better though.
I did.
Yeah.
Just I've literally TIG welded once in my life for like 2 minutes, so.
You're better than most guys I work with, so.
All right, well, I can give her a little stab at it. Let Timmy go home. And then I'm gonna go ahead and get this all prepped out and clean. And then we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna basically try to fill the inside of this and then the edge of the door seam and try to repair the edge of the door. So try to put metal back where body filler was. So that's what matters. Yeah, I appreciate you helping.
Anytime, bud.
Yeah. Alright, so I'm just gonna kind of dive into this head first, which is in my opinion the best way to do anything in this world. So I have no idea what I'm doing. I've hopefully made that very clear by now. I don't know how to TIG weld. I've never done it. You can see I didn't do half bad, but I get asked literally all the time, how do I do a lot of things? Best way to do it is just start doing it. Who cares if you don't know what you're doing? You know how to do some other things around the topic, like I know how to clean the surface, I know how to prep material, I know how to start welding. I'll just start sticking metal together and still it works. I have a grinder if I mess it up, who cares? It's a door jam. It's welded back together. That went actually pretty well. I didn't let the air purge on it long enough, but it's actually not terribly hard. So I'll show you guys so you can see the edge of the door there. I'm just trying to weld it back together. You can see I come down it. You can barely see it. Right, I'll put an arrow. You can see where it's split. So I'm trying to weld that back together. Because what the last owner did to this car, the guy that painted this car white, did a horrible job at it. He basically just filled everything in with body filler, then painted over it, and then as you can see, half the paint cracked, all the body filler cracked. Just not the right repair. So I'm gonna try to just stitch weld everything back together, make sure it's all solid in one piece again. Then I'll do a little seam seal on the back side to make sure no moisture gets inside that door and splits it again. So this is the proper way to do that, but we're doing it all with our JEGS little welder, and this thing absolutely kicks ass. I have no clue how to TIG, and this is actually coming out halfway decent. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up, show you guys what it looks like when it's done. Alright, so like I was saying, not really the best thing to learn TIG on, and I'm not really caring about how it looks real quick. I'm just trying to get the material on the door. So you can see I've basically lined a bead all the way across the edge of the door. Now I can go back and sand all that down, and then I can re-hammer and dolly this as best I can, do a little bit of fill work over it. We'll call that good. I think I'm pretty happy with that. And the door is now actually one piece again, which is really what I cared about. So yeah, if you want to learn a new skill, you just kind of have to try it. I have no clue how to TIG weld. Well, Timmy was a good teacher, so I get the gist of everything, but I understand, you know, you have to let the gas sit on the weld for like good 2-3 seconds at least. If you're done welding, there's a bunch of things internally with TIG that I have to learn still, but in terms of sticking metal together, I think I understand it. I shocked the shit out of myself already once, so you're probably laughing at that. If guys out there TIG weld, you know how bad that hurts. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this up, get out the air grinder, and go ahead and sand this thing out, and we'll be good. Alright, well I ain't no car builder or nothing, but I'd say that inside edge looks pretty dang good if I do say so myself. Yeah, definitely happy with that. You can see it's actually a solid continuous edge, just has a couple low spots we'll have to fill, but realistically you probably wouldn't notice unless I told you it was there. So that's what we want. So pretty happy with that. Alright guys, so we got that door pretty much wrapped up. Looks pretty good. I just got to start doing filler work, so I went ahead and bought another gallon of filler because I've sanded all of it off. Everything on here is paper thin. I mean, you can see there's the original base color. There's bare metal right there. Like, this is not thick at all. It's just, there's coverage because I want it to be straight. So it looks like there's a lot on the car. There really isn't. That's mostly because I don't know what I'm doing when I first started doing the body fill part. So I would put stuff on and sand almost all of it all the way off every single time. So I finally started getting the hang of it. So hopefully this gallon lasts me a lot longer. Well, while I'm waiting for some filler to dry, I bought another tool that I have no clue how to use. We're just on a roll with new tools today. It's a stud gun. And the only thing I know is you ground it out, you push the button, and now there's a doohickey I can pull things with, so that's cool. I go get my little slide hammer dealio. It actually works pretty well. Alright, so our filler's just about dry. We're gonna let that wrap up overnight. We can see we got this thing actually pulled up a decent amount. I need to sand down a little bit more. You can see there's not really much of a dent there anymore. It's not nearly as much as it was. I'll go ahead and overlay what it used to look like. It was pretty wild. So touch that up a little bit more. I'm gonna do a little more slide hammer action in the morning when it's not 9, 10 o'clock at night. This thing's really loud. Go ahead and wrap that up, get this side sanded, and we'll go ahead and wrap this video up. Alright guys, so I think my first time on a stud gun came out pretty good. It looks really bad, it's actually not. See, it pretty much got most of the dent out, pretty much all the way. I think I'm gonna call it right there and just throw a little skim coat of filler in there just to get all the high and low spots out. Either way, there's no holes, it's back up, raised where it was, which is good. So, I mean, I might do a couple more stud gun pulls on this thing. This is just a Harbor Freight one. Not too crazy about the size of it because this thing's absolutely massive and heavy, but it does get the job done. So I might work at this top section a little bit more, but either way, I think it came out really good. But we are well on our way with the Galaxie. So as you can see, I got pretty much this entire quarter done. Starting to work my way to the trunk, and then I'm gonna get up onto the roof, kind of just do this whole side of the car and then work my way to the other side of the car. I think that's how I'm gonna do it. But anyways, I hope you guys are super excited bringing the Galaxie back into the mix of things. I want to get this car done pretty quick. And I want to thank JEGS once again for working with me on today's video. If you want to check out all the products that they make, I will have a link down in the description. I highly recommend doing so. And with that being said, leave a like if you did enjoy today's video. It would really mean a lot to me. I'll see you guys in the next video with the Galaxie. See you guys.